Hey, what is up guys? My name is True Underdog, here today with a guide on how to play Sektor. This guide will cover special moves, attack strings, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's break them down step by step. As you can already see, the special moves are listed on the top left corner of the screen, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, we have straight missiles, which does hit high, which means your opponent can't duck under it. However, if it does hit, it causes a knockdown, which is very powerful because it means your opponent is forced to block the lock-on missiles you do afterward. Now they could armor out of it with a teleport, which would then hit you, so be mindful of who you're facing. If you're fighting Scorpion, you can't always do this, but Sub-Zero, you totally can, all day, every day. He's forced to take that. And because it hits multiple times, those lock-on missiles will break armor. Keep in mind the straight missile is unsafe if done up close, so you don't want to do that. Go ahead and use it exclusively for zoning. But that's what it's good at. Get that knockdown and start doing pressure. The enhanced version of straight missile hits multiple times and is plus 23 on block, so it's very safe to do at pretty much any given time. In fact, my favorite time to use them is after a mix-up. So after a back 3 low, or after a back 1 overhead, it's always safe, which is good because neither of these moves is safe if I try to complete the whole thing, right? I would need a full punish combo, but if I use the missiles, I'm always safe and I can gauge if my opponent's blocking high or low. And just so you know, the missiles do last more than enough time to give you a full combo, if you want to. Next up, we have the lock-on missiles. The standard version tracks the opponent's location, very useful after a knockdown like we saw earlier. However, if you hold back, the missiles will land in front of the opponent. This becomes very useful for baiting out the opponent after an incomplete attack string. So if I do this, he may think there's an opening, but there actually isn't if I hold back. He will get hit for trying to punish me. And that's the beauty of the front missiles. They're also pretty useful if the opponent tries to run in on you. They're going to go ahead and run headfirst into the missiles. Pretty useful stuff. If you hold forward, then the missiles will land behind the opponent, which is kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can show that. You see that? You see the tiny little explosions? There they were. Now that is useful for opponents who are trying to backdash or run away. The missiles will still catch them. So keep in mind that you have 3 different versions of these missiles and they're all very deadly. Now the best part about the lock-on missiles is that they have a crazy amount of stun, so watch this. I'm gonna wait a long time and still get my combo. Isn't that nuts? Look at all the time I had. That makes this attack very good for hit confirms. If the missiles don't land, then I'll just keep my pressure like normal. However, if they do hit, I can teleport in for a full combo. And I have all day to see if they do. Very easy 31%. We got flashier combos, but for now we're gonna keep them simple. And by the way dogs, if you're watching, the combos are at the end of the video. So please be patient because they're waiting for you. Now the enhanced version of lock-on missiles is of course a lock-on missile, as the name suggests, and does pretty good damage, and it tracks the opponent, which gives me plenty of time to run in and chase him down with the pressure if I want to. It also does chip damage now, which is nice because in MK9 it certainly did not. This attack hits mid, which means you have a great way to open up your opponent with an overhead or a low when you do it. So check this out. Low attack. Overhead. And the opponent is forced to guess high or low. Very sneaky stuff. Next up, we have the teleport uppercut. This move is essential for extending your combos, but don't ever do it raw because it is very unsafe. The only time to ever do it raw is if you see your opponent doing a projectile and you know for a fact that you can punish that, because it does always combo, which is very nice. If you make a mistake and your opponent does block it, you can always save yourself with air cyber charge, because the enhanced version is -3 on block, meaning it is safe. So if you messed up, that's always there to bail you out as long as you have the meter. So don't forget that, it's very crucial stuff. Now the enhanced version is great for extending combos for a little bit of extra damage. It does 11%, the regular only does 6, so it's almost twice the damage, and it juggles the opponent. So it's pretty damn useful. I don't recommend it for every situation, but there definitely are combos where you do want to net that little bit of extra damage, especially if it gives you the round. Alrighty, next up we have Flame Burner. This attack does a pretty meaty amount of damage, which is why I love to end combos with it if I can. That being said, do not ever use it raw unless you're pretty far away. If you use it up close, it is unsafe. The only time I ever recommend using it is after the back 2. If you do that, it's pretty safe. That's the optimal distance. I don't recommend doing it any closer than that. Some characters like Sub-Zero actually still can punish you if they're fast to react. The enhanced version is amazing. This attack has armor and hits on both sides of Sektor, which is amazing because the input is down down. Whoever did that, you are okay in my book and you deserve a medal, because that means the opponent can never cross you up. No matter which side they're on, the input is always the same, which is great because it hits on both sides. This move is great for cross-ups, great for jump-ins, teleporting behind you. It just beats everything. And it has armor like we said earlier, so it's a pretty damn good wake-up attack. Last but not least, we have the Air Cyber Charge. We talked about it a bit earlier, but I'm going to go in a bit more depth here. It can only be done in the air, but that's okay because certain attack strings allow you to do that, like this one. This attack hits mid, so the opponent actually can't duck under it. It also does 10% damage, which is not half bad for an air attack, so it is a pretty damn good way to end certain combos. Especially because it knocks the opponent at full screen, which means it's time for more zoning, baby. Play that keep away game, Sektor. You dirty, dirty boy. Now the enhanced version does more damage, so that's pretty useful, but what really makes it awesome is that it's always -3 on block, which means it makes a lot of attack strings safer. I mentioned that a bit earlier when I showed the teleport. That teleport is now safe. And look at this unsafe attack string. Safe. Awesome stuff, right? That move is like the umpire on a baseball field. You're always safe. Oh my god, that was corny, I know, I'm sorry, I apologize. This attack string, still safe, but does more chip damage. Honestly, just an all-around useful move. In fact, if you're playing Sektor, I recommend you always have at least one bar free, because this move makes almost everything safe. It's a really awesome move. Alrighty dogs, that covers his special moves, so let's go ahead and move on to his attack strings. And voila, would you look at that, they appeared on screen like magic. So let's go ahead and break them down. Virus Uploaded is unsafe on block, but if it hits, does a pretty chunky amount of damage, so it's a great way to end shorter combos. But that's not all. If you meter burn the attack, you actually launch the opponent. And yes, you can follow this up for a full combo. Let's go ahead and show what that looks like. Now would you look at that, 32% damage for a very basic combo. System Hack is safe on block, and good for starting off certain combos because you can hit confirm it. Boink, very short and simple combo. This attack is always safe, so it's great to throw out every now and then. It also has pretty deceivingly good range, look at that. That was still hitting, that's pretty nuts. Not the best range, but pretty damn good for being safe. Next up, we have Force Sensor. This attack string may just be one of the best attack strings in all of Mortal Kombat X. This attack is not only plus on block, but it puts you back at full screen for more zoning. What's even crazier is you can hit confirm it into a combo. But the craziness does not stop there, ladies and gentlemen. This combo can also restand airborne opponents for some crazy combos. That's some crazy stuff. This attack string should be used as often as humanly possible, because it is just nuts. Next we have Collision Sensors. This attack is great for starting off combos, continuing combos, and ending combos. Just an all-around solid attack string that's +2 on block, so it's never a risk to use, and it has pretty damn good range. Honestly, just a very good attack string. Last but certainly not least, we have Hard Crash. This attack is unsafe on block, unless you have the meter to make it safe. It also hits low, and is a great way to start off combos as well. Alright, now let's go ahead and discuss his unique attacks. Bionic Blast has pretty damn good range, and is safe. It's great for keeping your opponent in check, and keeping them at a distance. Knock them down with a missile if it hits, if not, it's still pretty safe, because they're pretty far away. It also hits mid, so your opponent has no way of ducking it. They're forced to eat this. Then we have Psycho Catch-Up. You can probably guess who that's named after. Now this move hits low and has incredible range. It's also very unsafe though, so be careful how you use it. The only time I ever find myself using this move is after a missile lock-on setup. Stuff like that it's pretty good for. Outside of that, be very, very careful because it is very unsafe. Sektor's X-Ray hits full screen and has armor, so it's pretty good for trading with projectiles. It's also a lot easier to combo with than Cyrax's is. That being said, you've seen how useful Sektor's meter is for other things, so be careful how you use your meter. Alright dogs, let's wrap this up with some basic bread and butter combos. The button translations are in the video description below. If you enjoyed the guide and found it helpful, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment too. Tell me what you think. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more videos, because we have content on this channel every single week. It is never a dull moment on Underdog Gaming. So make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.
Triborg wins fatality.